But passive income, why it's a myth. What I mean by passive income is income that you don't have to do anything about, quote unquote passive income. For example, real estate income, right? I'm going to give you a couple exceptions or sort of nuances to this at the end of the video. But real estate income, for example, it's not passive unless you have a property manager and he's taking a percentage. But then you still have to manage the property manager. So it's more passive than it would be someone who works a 9-to-5 job and gets paid hourly. But there is no system where you're 100% not involved from the money that you're making. I even have ebooks that I sell. It's going to be courses soon enough. But I need to create traffic. I need to create new content constantly to bring in new traffic constantly to constantly sell those books. Okay. Yes, I could not post for a month and still make money, but I'm going to be making less money that month. And over time, my business will die if I don't continue to produce new content. That's just the reality of it. So those ebooks are not passive. This was, something that was my dream since I read that 4-hour work week. Yeah, I'll just build this system and it'll be passive forever. No, you still have to manage the system and you still have to keep putting the outputs out. Okay. Also, think about this for a second. Passive. Okay. There's not an ounce of me that wants to be passive. I'm an active person. I'm an aggressive person. I don't want to sit around doing nothing all day. I want to have missions. I want to have goals. I want to have challenges. Do you really want to be a passive person? Do you want to do passive things? Okay, because I'll tell you this right now. Let's say, you somehow come across a bunch of money. You're going to be really happy for about 3 months, 6 months, a year. Then you're going to slip back down into depression because you're going to have no purpose. All right? The worst thing in the world is to have no purpose. Okay? A lot of young guys, myself included, think, or even, if you're my age, 37-year-old, or if I made a bunch of money, I won't have to do this stuff anymore. Trust me, man, you're going to be bored to tears. Okay? You could be sitting on the beach in Thailand. I've sat on the beach in Thailand and drank mojitos, man. I'm bored after 2 hours. My back starts to hurt. It's hot. There's mosquitoes everywhere. This is no kind of a life, this passive life, okay? You want an active life. You want challenges. You want purpose. You want to be out there winning. You want to be able to build new things. Doesn't matter how much money I make, I'm still going to work. I'm still going to find something else to do. And I would be doing this exact same business just with more money, and I'd probably, maybe I'd throw $1 million at the YouTube channel just to blow it up for fun. But not an ounce of me wants to be passive. Not an ounce of you should want to be passive. Okay. The exception is there's levels to this. All right. Let's say you're building a business system. You have to become less involved in that system over time as the system's optimized and you hire the right people. But you're still going to need to manage those people. And you're going to need to fire those people. Or maybe you're like me and you've done it without having to have a bunch of employees, but you have different business systems that you work with. SoundCloud, for example, I upload on my podcast too. But I've got to be in touch with them. I've got to produce content. I've still got to do, these various things. Even if you have managers and all you do is manage the managers, you still have to manage them. You might be able to get your work hours down to one day a week of management, like Dan Kennedy does. But there is still, it's not going to be 100% passive. Even if you, build Johnson & Johnson, you build a massive company and, you go public with it, right? And maybe you've removed yourself from a CEO position. You're still going to, let's say you get $2 billion of, and this is like a crazy example, not example I'd push you guys to follow, but you've got $2 billion of your worth tied up in this company. You're going to be invested in who the CEO is. You're going to be invested in who the chairman of the board is. Like Bill Gates, even with all his fundraising and all the stuff that he does, is still cares about who's running Microsoft. Still cares that the right people are involved. Still cares about who's on the board. Same thing with the guys from Google.